Hey Tribe, how y'all doing? As you can see, I am home, made it safely, had a great weekend with family. The graduation was really nice, the weather held up, all that good stuff. I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. I was with my mom, so that was cool. Um, and so this is the review for My House, Season 1, Episode 3. Go ahead and click that subscribe. Hope you like the video. Click the up video. I'm sorry, I said click the up video. Y'all know what I'm saying. Click the thumbs up if you like the video. It's so. I'm not gonna go down that road. I'll make that a whole separate video. I got another video for y'all. My faithful followers, I got a whole video for y'all. But anyway, so this episode we are learning about a whole new scene, the Kiki scene in ballroom, and what the Kiki scene is explained as. It's for the younger kids, because the regular ballroom scene is very as we learned in the other episodes, very political. It's very established. It's serious. It's a serious, they take it serious. But the Kiki scene are the younger, up and coming generation, and it's a lot more fun. They're a lot more expressive. Their costumes are a lot more elaborate. And so what we find though, this is some interesting stuff from where I sit. And again, if I'm wrong, y'all drop it in the comments, and y'all let me know. It's funny, Tati, 007 Tati, she liked my, when I tweeted out the review, I don't know if she watched it, but she liked the tweet. So I was like, cool, thank you. Hope you watch it. Hope you liked it. Hope you watching this one. I hope you like this one too. But she is the house mother of Juicy. I guess that's their house. Her and Alex actually seems like they sort of run the house, and she's the house mother. And so it's funny that it's a totally different level, because on the regular ballroom level, remember, she's a 007, she left her house, and her and Alex were in the same house, and they no longer are. But on this other level, this Kiki scene, they are working together. And so the episode starts with them sort of giving a class, and it looks like they break down the different elements of voguing. In this particular episode, Alex is showing them their catwalk, working on their catwalk, and he's breaking some stuff down for them, and it was cool. It was really cool. It was cool to see them working with the younger kids, and I say younger kids, but they were probably still late teens, early 20s. I mean, we're not talking about kids, you know what I mean? But they were younger, and you could see the respect. You could see how they were hanging on to every word, hanging on to everything they did. And him and Tati really worked together, and he explained stuff, and then she showed it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She did it. Gave the example, right? So then they actually go to the ballroom, and it was the Playhouse Kiki Ball. So on the Kiki scene, they actually have their own balls as well. So this was the Playhouse Kiki ball. So it's interesting because Alex takes a walk as a legend. He said he's been a legend on the Kiki level for a really long time. And so he takes his walk, and that's cool. And you see Relish again. Relish, I don't know if you guys remember, he was in the last episode. He vogued, and he didn't really make it. He got cut. They call it chopped, and kind of early, and he was upset, and he sort of had like a little attitude about it. But again, like he said, I don't do this to lose, so of course I'm upset when I lose. And he said it was sort of political. You ever have a situation where somebody has a problem with you and you don't even know they exist? This seems to be the situation between Relish and Alex. Relish seems to have a problem with Alex, and Alex doesn't. Not even and I don't even mean that in a mean way. Alex doesn't know him. Alex doesn't know who this guy is. And even there's a point where the people behind the camera are like, somebody asked Alex, do you know Relish? And he was like, no, I don't. And Alex kind of, is like, hey, how you doing? And Relish has this stank look on his face, like, why he talking to me? And then Alex is talking about, he's being interviewed by the people behind the camera, and he's talking about something, and Relish takes it as a personal diss towards him, like, why he throwing shade at me, and da 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 da, and we're not going to have that, and I'm not going to do, and I was just like, maybe I missed something, but I don't see where he did that. I do see where he was talking, and Alex is expressive. He's talking with his hands and that, but I don't think it was a personal dig, because, like I said, he didn't even know him. And if there's more history there, hopefully it'll be revealed. But Tati walks. She does the face Vogue. And like I told you guys before, when you Vogue, they have all different categories. So the face Vogue is just that. It's about your face. You have to have, good complexion and a good beat and all that stuff they're looking at. They're not even, of course, you got to still Vogue it down. You know what I mean? But they are looking at this right here. And Tati said this is a category she's always wanted to walk, but it was her first time really doing it because, going through transition, she just, I guess, wasn't confident or didn't, I don't even say she wasn't confident because she was very confident, but I mean, didn't think maybe she was ready to compete in that particular category. So she did compete at this ball and did the damn thing. You hear me? They were chanting for this girl. She did. I like Tati. I do. I really like her, and and then later on we're gonna learn a little bit more about her story, which made me love her even more. But she definitely did the damn thing. I think they did win. I think they won. But she looked good, y'all. She looked good. Her face looked good. They had this royal costume thing working because it was a team of Vogue, and so her being a house mother was somebody, one of her sons and another guy, and they did it together, and they did a really good job. And then we see Relish. Relish does a team Vogue as well, and he does really good. He gets really far, and then he does eventually get chopped, and yeah, he's upset because he feels like he should have won. Well, again, nobody does this to lose, so I'm not mad at him for feeling like, you know what, I feel like I did better than the person on the floor. And I feel like I should have won. And that's sort of where we leave off with Relish in this episode. But I just think it's interesting that he seems to have beef with Alex. Alex doesn't seem to even know who he is. And like I said, not even in a nasty way. Like, Alex wasn't like, no, I don't know him. Alex was like, no, I don't know him. Where is he? Let me talk to him. You know what I mean? Again, we'll see if, I don't know, maybe he likes Alex. Because Alex is a little cutie, y'all. So maybe he likes Alex. I don't know. Then we see, we meet... we meet Jelani. I don't know if you guys remember Jelani. We meet Jelani's dad. Jelani is the guy who I told you guys I'm a little nervous about him because I'm not sure where he is in the acceptance of where he is. He definitely is accepted that he's gay. Like, he knows he's gay. He's not trying to pretend like he's not gay or anything. But I'm talking from the point of view... Pause. Rewind. So, and I don't want to offend anybody, so please don't. Again, y'all, drop it in the comments if I'm being insensitive or something. But when we think of transgender, I think most people, I know I do, automatically think men who transition to women. We don't always think about women who transition into men. I don't. And maybe some people do, but I don't, right? So they had it wasn't really a Vogue because they weren't dancing, but there was a category of the ball where transgender women who had gone through the transition to becoming men. Y'all. I would never in a million years walking down the street at a club, somebody roll up on me, whatever. I would not know. I mean, facial hair, muscles, tatted, and I'm talking sexy motherfuckers, okay? Sexy. Look, I would never have known. And it gave me a different point of view because, I mean, I know that there are women who transition to men. I mean, I know that. I'm not ignorant to that. But it's just whenever you hear the word transgender, I think we automatically think of the Laverne Coxes of the world or the T.S. Madisons of the world. You know what I'm saying? We don't always, I'm going to stop saying we. I don't always think about the women who transition into men. And they were talking about their story a little bit and how it's, you have to pick up the mannerisms and you have to pick up, like, you have to really study how to be a man. But you have to do the same thing for a man turning into a woman. I mean, they have to study how to be a woman. And it was just an interesting point of view, a different twist. And I also think that in the media, the men who transition to women get a lot more of the spotlight as well. You know what I'm saying? I think we hear more about them as well in the mainstream. But anyway, that was an interesting piece. So Jelani and his dad. The reason why I say I'm still a little nervous about Jelani is because he makes these statements that still makes me think, are you fully embracing... I don't know how to word it without sounding ignorant. I don't know. Because on one hand, there is no category. You don't have to fit into a category. You can be who you are and still live your truth. You understand what I'm saying? But then the flip side, like okay, so let me just jump into it. So his dad was talking about how, growing up, and Jelani had already shared with us that his dad was a drug dealer back in the day, and then he went to jail, and so he's out now, and he's remarried. He has another family, but he has a relationship with his dad. I mean, Jelani, they seem to have a really decent relationship, and of course, they asked him about, well, what is it like to have how do you feel when you found out your son was gay? And he was like, he said, it just threw me off a little bit because, I'm 110% man. Again, as if to imply that because his son is gay, he's not as, that's how I took it, y'all, that he's not as manly as him. That's how I took it. That might not be how he meant it. And he was saying how, I can accept it, but I'm not going to force it on my new family. So, like, when we have Thanksgiving dinner, he can come, but he can't bring, and he wouldn't say boyfriend. You know what I mean? He was like, but he can't bring nobody because I don't really want that around. I don't want to force his lifestyle on other people. Like, I can accept it. And then Jelani makes a comment and says, the people behind the camera were just like, well, why you, Jelani was kind of standing there. And he's like, well, why are you making that face? And he said, well, because I didn't know that. He said, because I act so regular. I didn't think it'd be a problem. And again, that says to me that when you say regular, what does that mean, boo? Like, whoever you are is who you are. However you act is how you act. And so when you say, well, I act so regular, are you saying I don't act gay? I don't act feminine? And so that's why I didn't think it'd be a problem with your family accepting me? And so that just, it sort of breaks my heart a little bit because I feel like he's still struggling. You know what I mean? So anyway, those are the things that, that 100%, 110% man, and I act so regular. I like Jelani, y'all. He's a cutie. He's such a cutie. But his dad said that he loved him. His dad said that, he's, and it could be worse. His dad ain't throw him on the street. His dad didn't, excommunicate from him. They have a relationship. So it's not a bad thing. And it is a process. And it is a struggle. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was definitely an interesting point of view. And then we get a little bit more of Tati's story. She opens up a lot. She takes us through down to the village where she said she had her first gay experiences. Her first boyfriend took her down there, and she talks about how, basically when she was 15 years old, she left home because her and her mom didn't get along. Her mom didn't understand. She said she opened up to her mom about how she wanted to be a girl, and her mother was just like, yeah, nah, that's not happening. And so she lived with her brother. But she was pretty much on her own, and she talked about how she got into escorting, and she was boosting and stealing and doing a lot of things, and she talked about how she first started taking her hormones through an illegal situation. There's a person, seems to be a well-known person in the village where you can get your hormones from, and so that's where she started taking her hormones, and she said that her aha moment of changing her life was when she got arrested and had to go to Rikers Island. And she said it was after she had a surgery and one of her clients disrespected her, and she got an assault charge because it sounded like her and a couple of her homies rolled up on an old dude and whipped his ass. And she said, I had to go to jail. And she said she was in there for a couple of weeks, and it was in that process where she said she felt like God hit her over the head and was like, yo, this gonna be your she didn't get into a whole lot of details about her experience in Rikers, but she just said that was a wake-up call because she said she had just had a surgery, and she wasn't specific about which surgery it was. So it could have been some sort of plastic surgery, it could have been breast augmentation, I don't know. But I know in working, those of you who watched a few of my videos, I've worked in the criminal justice system, and through that experience, I know that on the juvenile level, well, let me not say that. A lot of times it depends on the size. Rikers Island is huge, so this wouldn't have been a situation at Rikers Island. But I know that in Maryland, you would be put in a separate housing unit if you are transitioning. Like, they wouldn't necessarily put you with the boys or necessarily put you with the girls. They have a whole separate wing specifically for people who have transitioned, so you're not necessarily in that situation unless you want to be, or you're in a facility that can't accommodate that. Rikers, I'm certain, can accommodate. I'm sure they have a whole separate wing, but that doesn't mean that was her situation because, again, I don't know all the ins and outs of the legal to know what happened to her specifically and where she was housed. But I'm almost certain she wouldn't have, well, I ain't almost certain. I'm going to say 99.9% she wasn't with the women. She was either in a separate unit or she was with the boys. And either way, it couldn't have been an easy situation, even for 3 weeks. Y'all know what I'm saying? And she said that was her wake up call. And so she's, they asked her, well, are you still escorting? And she said no. She sort of hesitated a little bit, but she gave a definitive no that she's not doing that. But she talked about she was a rebellious teen, and she describes herself as the rose that came out of concrete because she said, I was a rebellious teen who was out there wilding out, but I'm a grown woman who was making her way in life, and it just made me really fall in love with her. Like I know in the last episode, I felt like she was being a little bratty, and I still think she got a little diva in her. You know what I mean? I still think she got a little diva and stuff going on, but I love her. I do. I really love her story. I like all of these characters. Relish, I don't know what his deal is. Like I said, I feel like he's got an issue with Alex that nobody knows but him. But I love Precious. I love Tati. I love Alex. I love Jelani. I just want to hug Jelani and be like, baby, it's okay. But then the episode ends with all of them on the pier. And the pier is like the pier. The pier is like this rite of passage that you just kind of have to go through it. You go to the piers where the people hang out. They practice the Vogue, and they be like, it's a bench there. You don't even sit at the bench. You dance, you walk, you know what I mean? And it's sort of like a rite of passage that all of them were familiar with this pier. And they sat on the pier and talked just a little bit about just being gay and growing up in a gay world in this environment. And, Tati was like, we're not different. We're not to be treated as fragile as glass or anything like that. We are just gay. We are just transgender. We are just people. And it almost read like the ending. I was like, is this just a 3-part series? But then they showed scenes for next week. So we'll see what happens next week. But again, it was a great episode. I enjoyed it. I want y'all to check it out. If y'all, like I said, if y'all are watching my videos, and check out the show. It's really good. It's on, like I said, it's on Viceland, and I don't know if everybody has Viceland or not, but I love it. It's a really good show. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Peace.